You see the title, you see the thumbnail. We're here to talk about what the Giants will do at quarterback, whether it's trading up to number one pick or getting Aaron Rodgers. As you know, the Giants struck out on Matthew Stafford, but I never expected them to really land Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is a top quarterback. Why would the Rams let him go? And looks like the Giants were just a chess piece all along. But when you look at it, the Giants still are looking to pivot and add a veteran quarterback, whether it be through free agency or the only place through free agency, or you make a trade for a quarterback. Matthew Stafford was that one trade that would have happened. Aaron Rodgers seems to be the likely scenario for the next quarterback up. Now, a lot of people are not a fan of Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not the biggest fan of Aaron Rodgers either. When we look at the type of thing that the Giants are trying to build, I mean, I'm not against it if we add him and a rookie quarterback to this team, and it's looking like that's what the Giants are trying to do. Now, first of all, Malik Neighbors, shout out to Malik Neighbors, because it seems like everything he's echoing, either he's getting it from upstairs or he's the one telling upstairs to go ahead and do it. They want to add a veteran quarterback to this team to help out the younger quarterback and also give them a chance to win this year. Aaron Rodgers would be some sort of scenario. Now, it's only going to be about what Aaron Rodgers is going to cost, right? Aaron Rodgers was just making a lot of money for a couple different teams, including the Jets, and we saw how the Jets ended up fizzling out. The Giants do not have a better roster than the New York Jets. They don't. So, for Aaron Rodgers to come over here and possibly try to win more games, I mean, I'd be shook if they do. And let's put some respect on the NFC East name, man. The NFC East is a better division than the division he was in my opinion. So when you look at Aaron Rodgers coming over to this division, do we expect to win a lot of games next year? I don't think so. I know that's what they're trying to do. Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are trying to win their jobs, save their jobs, but they're not going to, be favorites in any game against any team in their division. So adding Aaron Rodgers to the mix, once again, I do expect if we bring him over, hopefully it doesn't cost too much. Hopefully it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I'm thinking around $20 to $25 million a year. Bring him on for a year. Help him groom the next quarterback, whoever it is to be. And I'm going to be talking about that in 1 second. But Aaron Rodgers on this team wouldn't be too bad, especially considering all reports are showing that you're going to have to bring Davante Adams with him. And I hope that is the case, right? Like, I would rather have Aaron Rodgers with Davante Adams than without. But we all know Malik Neighbors is on this team. He's going to be the wide receiver one, even if Davante Adams is on this team. I know what he is as a talent, but at the end of the day, Malik Neighbors is our star wide receiver, and he would help that scenario. People are looking at what happened with Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson did not have a bad year with Davante Adams on his same offense. He didn't have that. So everyone who has that narrative, kind of push that to the side. This offense should be a lot more dynamic. I've said this year in and year out, though, so I have to see it to believe it. Obviously, the quarterback position is the most important position, so if you change that up, maybe there's a higher chance of that changing. Looking at what Aaron Rodgers did last year, he still outperformed, and shout out to whoever tweeted this on, I think it might be Doug on Twitter, but whoever tweeted this, all four quarterbacks last year combined their stats together. They still didn't have a better, stats than Aaron Rodgers last year. They didn't put up better stats. And now a lot of people are going to look at this and say, who cares? Because that's still not a top quarterback in the league. But Aaron Rodgers should make this offense a little more viable, should make this offense a little more exciting, and adding, once again, his running mate and Davante Adams with the Malik Neighbors on the outside. I would love to see that happen. I would love to see it. And now listen. The mission is to still get a quarterback in this draft class. I know there's only a two-man race, and some people say get the one guy, the number one guy. Speaking of number one, it's looking like the Giants are going to be trading for the number one pick very soon. That's what it seems like. That's all the rumblings you're starting to hear. Now, listen, things can change, and I don't want to be the one to say it's going to happen, and it won't. But it seems like it's trending in that direction. We know the Titans are not sold on these quarterbacks, apparently. They're actually going to be meeting with Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward pretty soon, and they need to make the decision before next Monday. I just said it. Next Monday starts a new league year, which is free agency. If you're a team that's not going to be drafting a quarterback, like the Titans reportedly are not, you need to start figuring out what you're going to do in free agency. So they got to get their answers pretty soon. I would expect to see if they're going to move off the number one pick. It's going to happen before next Monday. So all the reports are saying it. It only makes sense, right? It looks like they love Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. If you could slide back to number 3, which the Giants have, and I think that will be the best case scenario for the Titans, you can still get some assets trading back to 3 and also still take that player that you want in Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. So I think the Giants have probably the most appealing pick compared to any other team that's going to be in this draft. You look at the Raiders, who are at number 6, they're too far back. You're going to miss out on those premier players. You look at the Jets, I think at number 7, too far back. You're going to be missing out on those premier players that you want. So for the Giants' sake, it's going to cost them a little bit. I'm expecting a 3rd-round pick. I've seen people report a 2nd. I really hope it's not this year's 2nd, because this year's 2nd is pretty good. Hopefully next year's 2nd. but I don't think it's going to cost another first-round pick. You're moving up 2 spots. It shouldn't cost you that much, especially considering the Titans are still going to get what they want. It's reported that they want Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. It's an extremely important pick, and in this draft class, those look like the top guys in this draft. So if they're able to still get them at 3, the Giants have the best case scenario for this situation, and I hope the deal gets done. There's rumblings that it's already done, but they're going to have to do their homework on the quarterbacks, and they're going to have to be sold that they do not want a quarterback in this draft class. So we'll see what happens after they meet with Cam Ward and Shador, but the time starts now, man. If the Giants are going to trade for number 1, it's going to be happening within the next week. I think if it doesn't happen before free agency starts and free agency begins, the Giants are picking at 3, and they better stay put, which is not the worst scenario either. I mean, I've been on record. I've talked about the number 3 pick in this draft class. You could wait for Shador Sanders to fall at 3 if you really do love Shador, which all reports are showing. But I also put it out there, man. They loved J.J. McCarthy apparently last year, and you saw what happened. So I wouldn't be too sold on Shador Sanders going to 3 or even the Giants taking Shador Sanders. I think staying at 3, you're in a really good spot, whether you're getting a top player in the draft or you're getting one of the quarterbacks that you want. So for the Giants' sake, once again, you add Aaron Rodgers. You still want to add a rookie quarterback, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. You have Aaron Rodgers for a year. I'm not going to say you're going to be in a better scenario next year's draft, but we can't be bad every single year and hope to get the top quarterback in every single draft class. I mean, look at a couple of different teams around the league. I mean, the Eagles did not have to be bad to get Jalen Hurts. The Packers didn't have to be bad to get Jordan Love. And I know that's only a couple of teams, but for people that are saying we need to lose enough games to get a quarterback next year, let's stop pushing that, man. The Giants, if they want a quarterback, they're going to have to get the guy they want. We know Joe Shane is thirsty for a quarterback right now, so it's either trading up for one and getting Cam Ward, or if the quarterbacks are off the board, man, hey, we're going to have to pivot, pick up a Jackson Dart maybe later in the rounds, or even wait till next year, man. If you get Aaron Rodgers on this team, I'm not going to say he's going to be the greatest quarterback in the world. We'll talk about the X's and O's, and we'll talk about how many games they can win if he actually gets brought here. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm really not. The Giants also have around $50 million in cap space before making any restructures, before manipulating the cap and any cuts. I've seen they can get upwards to around $80 million in cap space. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've seen around. So hopefully that is the case. The Giants will have a good amount of cap space to spend, especially next year when if they do have that rookie quarterback, Aaron Rodgers off the contract for only 1 year. Hey, you might see them in a better scenario next year. Help their rookie quarterback, and I'm hoping that rookie quarterback will be Cam Ward. I'll be dropping a video on Cam Ward this week, man, because once again, I think he's the QB1, and before this trade drops, if the trade does happen, I think Cam Ward is going to be the number 1 pick in this draft, and hopefully it's taken by the New York Giants. I want you guys to let me know down below, man, what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to be dropping a couple of the winners from the Combine this past weekend as well. Keep a lookout on a couple of receivers. I'm also very excited about the running back group. I think the Giants should still draft a running back in this draft class, but they have a million holes, so I wouldn't be surprised what else they have to fill. But I want you guys to let me know down in the comments, man, how you feel about Aaron Rodgers and trading up from the number 1 overall pick. I will be live if that thing happens, man. Hopefully I'm not at work. I'm really hoping it happens in the next couple of hours, but it's going to happen after they meet with the quarterbacks. I will definitely be looking to jump on that. I want you guys to let me know down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.